Training camp is officially underway in Dallas, and the Stars hit the ice with their eyes set on another deep playoff run. On today's show, you'll hear from head coach Glen Gulutzan and general manager Jim Nill on roster battles, leadership in the locker room, and what they're most excited for the 2025-26 season.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free, available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. The Dallas Stars hit the ice for the first time today as they begin training camp, and the 2025-26 season is now upon us. On today's show, you'll hear some bits and clips from head coach Glen Gulutzan and general manager Jim Nill, who met with the media yesterday. Hockey is back in Texas. The Stars play a preseason game against the St. Louis Blues here in a couple of days. We have some line combinations I'm going to tell you about a bit later on as well. So let's have some fun, a jam-packed episode. Grab a beverage, sit back, relax, and let's listen to Glen Gulutzan on his mindset with the preseason and how he wants to build the foundation now as they get ready for preseason action, and of course be ready to rock and roll for the regular season when it comes around.
I just want to lay down the foundation. We are going to change a few things with systematically the way we play, and so I just want to make sure that I believe in instinctual hockey. I believe in road hockey with a structure, and when these guys playing within their structure can be instinctual, they're at their best. We got to get instinctual right away. You look at the first two games. You know, we're running through Winnipeg and in Colorado. So I want these guys on instinct right away, on instinct and intensity right away. So that's the foundation. We got to lay it down so what we're changing, that it's not foreign and they can play it without thinking.
So we've heard that a couple of times now throughout the summer, road hockey. That is how Glen Gulutzan wants to prepare this Dallas Stars club. And he went on to talk about the physicality narrative as well that I want to jump into, because he makes his point clear about what he means by having the Dallas Stars play more physical this season.
I'm just making a clear point here. It's not just body checking, because the reality is that if you want to go look at the stats, the teams that hit the most, usually, Florida Panthers were number one last year, but usually are the teams that don't have the puck. And we would love to have the puck. So if our hits are down, but we don't want to be on the bottom, but we don't need to be on the top. So I'm not just talking about hitting, I'm talking about everything we do from how we track and chase people down, and how we hold pucks in the offensive zone, and how we get in front of people and play through their hands, just so that we're a pain in the butt to play against, really. And that's grit. That's what you need come playoff time. It can't be foreign. Being
tough to play against, right? Being a pain in the rear end. That's what I like to hear when it comes to the physicality narrative. And y'all heard me over the last couple seasons here on Locked On Stars. Hitting and physicality for the sake of hitting and physicality is not always a good thing. And as he mentioned there, usually the teams that are at the top of the list in terms of hit totals are not playing with the puck. And especially under DeBoer, the Stars had a lot of possession, except towards the end of the regular season last spring, when they were sort of reeling and they were giving up a lot of shots. Their defensive zone structure wasn't very good. It was sort of discombobulated towards the end of the spring. But for the most part, the Stars played with the puck quite a bit. And he went on to praise Artem Schlane. And we talked about him with Robert Tiffin the other day at the NHL prospect games between the Stars and Red Wings. He praised Schlane for his ability on the forecheck. He went in, he hit a guy, that created a turnover, and then he got rewarded with it when Jackson Feuder found him in front of the net and then he slipped it through the 5-hole for a goal. He's talking about that type of physicality. And it's not like Schlein went in and blew him up and sent him 6 rows deep into the Comerica Center. He just went through his body, went through his hands, forces a bad play, ends up on their stick, and then he gets rewarded for it. That is the type of physicality he wants to see from Dallas. So he even praised Schlein for what he did at the prospect games. And he talked about the balance of the Stars roster, and he mentioned how it's an opportunity for him. He said not a lot of coaches are this lucky. Not a lot of coaches get this opportunity, is how he's phrasing it, to be thrusted into an organization that is not rebuilding. They haven't had a ton of high picks recently. Like, they have good veteran balance. They have good young talent, sort of that core. And we'll hear from Jim Nill as well about what he's most excited for, and about how this young core now needs to step up. It's time for them to carry the load, so to speak. So maybe Matt Duchene doesn't lead the Stars in scoring last season. Maybe it's time for some of those young guys like Johnston and Bork and Nils, who we'll get to in a bit as well, because it's pretty obvious, I think, what Glen Gulutzan is looking for. He wants his team to play extremely hard. Obviously, every coach does, but he wants them to be a pain in the butt to play against. And that's not always running around trying to kill your opponent, right? It's about taking away time and space at the end of the day, playing through their hands. And he has mentioned the phrase hand-on-hand combat a bit, especially come playoff time. And I love how he ended one of the clips there with, we don't want it to be foreign to the Stars. Now, that's important. We don't want it to be foreign. And I say that because it seemed foreign under DeBoer in that Western Conference final against Edmonton, when the Oilers were just coming in waves and waves. And then when it was time to ramp up the physicality, the Stars just didn't have that in them. And Glenn has talked about going into the preseason, he wants it to be instinctual. He just wants the guys to force the issue. He also went on to talk about he doesn't want to be reacting to stuff. Because when you're reacting, that gets you in trouble. So he wants to get this ingrained into the Stars early, and I think he's made a point, a conscious point, to hammer this home earlier in the summer, as soon as he got hired, talking about physicality, because he says all you got to do is talk about it, and hopefully the guys are reeling. Hopefully the players, you got your Jamie Benn, your leadership in the room is starting to push that, because he talked about Jamie and the captain being an extension of the head coach. So by talking about in the summer, there's an expectation. There is a role that each guy knows coming into training camp. This is how our head coach wants us to play. We're going to change some things up, whether that's on the forecheck, whether that's on the power play, but it's going to be a bit different. And now that's the expectation. You have to deliver on it, and it's about being instinctual and not being foreign. So when it comes down to it, if the Stars make another deep playoff run, they get punched in the mouth by an Edmonton or Vegas, whoever it is, that they can ramp up, and they know they have that in them. Because last year, after the Rope Hintz injury, it didn't look like they had it. And your head coach told you that. Remember, we talked about Pete DeBoer, did that interview on the bench, and that's not their game. Well, they have to make that a part of their game, because good teams play that way. Great teams play that way. They're not going to be the Panthers. We all know that. That's not their personnel. They're going to have to find other ways to be physical, taking time and space away from their opponents. So there's some really, really good stuff in there I wanted to share. Now let's hop over to Niels and Bork again, because those are our two young players that actually Sam Nessler asked about. He didn't mention their names, and then Glenn just went ahead and named them and talked about the opportunity for Niels and Bork.
Nils and Borky, I told them both, I'm giving you an opportunity here. I'm giving you an opportunity. What I see from watching them, I think there is real upside to those guys. And actually, you need internal growth on your team when you lose players. We lost players here. So at the end of the day, you need internal growth. and they're ready to grow, in my opinion. So I'm going to give them an opportunity here in camp to see what they can do, because that's really what pushes it forward. And not only that, you need some young juice in the room, right? And a young player comes in and he's feeling it and he's playing good and he's helping the team. It brings energy. And this schedule, you need energy, and maintaining energy is important.
And the Stars need young juice. That's for sure. We saw it with White Johnson a couple of years ago when he went through camp, and all of a sudden he made the opening night roster, and we thought maybe he'll just be here for a couple of weeks, and then boom, he plays all 82 and had a fantastic season in his rookie campaign. Now it's time for Bork to do the same, and this is a guy we've highlighted quite a bit as a certain player. And Nill's, you can sort of throw him into this conversation too, a guy that can maybe be unlocked under Glen Gulutzan. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Gulutzan is going to utilize them. And as Glen said, they may have lost some guys, but this is a real opportunity for players like Sam Steele and Bork and Lundqvist and Bischel to really step up and really grab life by the horn, so to speak, and don't hold back. This is a big season for that. And the Stars may end up, in reality, being a bit better than they were even a year ago at this time. So it's really fascinating to hear how Glen is speaking on how his club wants to play, the preseason, the physicality narrative, and all that good stuff as well. So Jim Nill, he was up next, and he blames the media. He blames the media for blowing the Robertson situation out of proportion. Kidding, that's a clickbait. But what is Jim Nill most excited about with the Dallas Stars? You'll hear from him in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready with kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. FanDuel is awesome because it fits however you like to bet, whether that's player props, you can build a same-game parlay, even jump in live as the action unfolds. It just makes the game even more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup on Saturdays and Sundays. You got college football and NFL football. Sometimes it's fun to just sprinkle a little money. If you're watching a game, maybe you don't even care about the two teams. See if you can have some fun. It just adds a little more energy to your Sundays, and that's where FanDuel is for you. And remember, new customers, if you bet just $5, you can get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Well, I always love when General Manager Jim Nill speaks to the media. He always has the most thoughtful of answers. So I wanted to share a few with you on today's show. But I love I love this one off the hop about what is he most excited about for this season. This goes back to some of the young juice and some of the young legs the Stars have.
What I'm excited about this year is we've got a group, and they're kind of becoming parts of life. It's the way it is. But what I'm excited about this year is we've got a group, and they're kind of becoming part of our core, younger players. Time for them to take that next step. I think that's what's going to define a big part of our season is these guys that take that next step. And, we got the veterans there. They've been doing it for a long time. We got a core that's been there for a while. Now we got this next group of guys, and give me more opportunity for them. That's what excites me.
So I may be reading too much into this answer, and I probably am, but he says within that little snippet, I think it's really going to define our season. So that gives me the impression he has built this team. He made the moves he made in the offseason because he believes in these young guys, and they have to step up. And they have to contribute if the Stars want to get to where they want to go. It's sort of where I kind of feel Jim is talking about there. If I read between the lines, they're going to have to step up if the Stars are going to be good. And that's not rocket science. I think that's fair to say. They're going to need guys like Steele and whatnot to maybe play some some more minutes and to contribute. They need to score guys like Bork to just make up for some of the offense they may have lost over the offseason, but you also have to factor in you have Jason Robertson, you have Mikko Rantanen, who you didn't have for a whole season last year. They just have a lot of different pieces, and Glen has talked about as well about trying to make that fit, finding everybody a role and finding combinations that work. It's not just about righty-lefty on the back end. They're changing the way they're going to hold on to the puck, how they're going to move up and down the ice. He talked about it's not going to be just always moving north. They may hang on to some pucks more. That way it can actually benefit some potential defensemen, whether that could be Lundqvist, Bischel, Lindell, Miro, if they do play on their offside. So there is a change in mindset and system, which, of course, is to be expected under a head coach. And Jim, I think, is sort of putting his eggs in the basket of, okay, these are the guys we want to build around here in the near future, whether that's a Niels or Bork, you name it, Johnston. It's time for them to really, really usher in this new era of Stars hockey post Ben and Sagan, whose careers are slowly but surely coming to an end here in the next, 3 to 5 years between the two of them. Now, he did speak on Mikko Rantanen as well, and I thought there was some really good stuff because it's not just about a player he is, but what else Mikko Rantanen can provide in the locker room.
I don't think I can even hope, and I think we know who he is. You know, we've watched him. Of course, we've had to play against him for the last 8 to 10 years, so we know who he is. Now he's on our side, and so I'm looking forward to it. He's had a chance now to kind of debrief. You know, he's selling his place in Colorado. He's got a place here now. He's had a summer to get settled in. I think you guys all saw he just got engaged, so I think his life's pretty good. And he's, you know, something you don't see with Mikko, and with a lot of Premiums you don't see. He's got great leadership capabilities, and that's what I'm looking forward to. He's very focused, very dedicated. He's driven to win, and that's what I'm looking forward to now that he's settled into the dressing room, and I know he's going to be a big voice in that dressing room.
I love that he brought that up too, because this is a really great opportunity for Rantanen. Of course, he gets paid the big contract. He's going to want to prove it on the ice, of course, that he's worth it. But he's now in a place where he has a chance to really be, I think, at the forefront of sort of the leadership on Dallas. And of course, your captain's Jamie Benn, but you know, in Colorado, no mistake, like the team was Nathan McKinnon, right? He was a captain. He wasn't afraid to bark at guys. And maybe I'm wrong on this, but maybe Rantanen, at least the way Avalanche fans talk about him, doesn't seem like they think he was a great leader. They called him lazy. He wasn't good. He was, a McKinnon merchant, all that stuff. So he's in a spot now where, as sort of the guy, let's face it, he is the guy, at least up front for Dallas. I think you'd say the same about Miro. I feel like his leadership is probably undervalued in that room. He's played over 300 games, probably almost 400 games in the NHL. And he's 25 now. I think he could be thrown in that conversation as another guy that can be a huge leader for Dallas this season. So I love that Jim brought that up, because it sort of feels like, like Jamie's career's coming to an end, right? At some point. So it can be sort of a trial or a pseudo captaincy, if you will. Not saying Mikko is going to be the captain when Jamie leaves, but as a guy that's, getting paid the money that he is, he should be expected to be a leader in that locker room. And I'm excited to see how that sort of transpires as well this season. Now, one more thing from Jim, since he did speak on Jason Robertson. And as I said earlier, as a tease, that he blew it out of proportion. He's blaming the media, but he's not, of course. But he had some interesting stuff on Robo in that situation over the summer.
First of all, I think things really got blown out of proportion, and for different reasons. And you got to kind of know our situation. You hear a lot of these situations going on right now that are taking place. Those players are all UFAs. We have team control for 2 more years, RFA rights for Jason for 2 more years. So different time frames for a lot of these. We talked about how we had to get rid of players during the summer because of our cap situation. So up till then, as we're trying to work through that, these other teams aren't very fair. They know our situation too. They're not very nice partners. So they know we got to do something. And so they're calling and they're asking about different players, which they should be. I'd be doing the same thing when I've gone to teams. That's how we got Stephen Johns the one season. That's how that happened. So teams are calling on that. And during that time, I'm also talking to Jason's agent, trying to see if I can get ahead of the ball game. And I think you guys have all seen the negotiating market right now with the players, in the league. It's come to a standstill. And it's a standstill, too, with Jason. I don't blame him. He's not a UFA, but he's an RFA. He wants to see what the market is. We want to see what the market is. And so things are really kind of on hold. But we communicated all summer. They know our stance. They know what they're looking for. And I'm confident we're going to get something done. The good thing is we're going to get the best out of a lot of these players.
Well, it's good to hear that he says he's confident that they are going to get something done. Sorry for the longer clip, but I think it's important to get the whole context of something when it comes to him talking, especially on trade situations, or not trade situations, but negotiating with agents and players or whatnot. So wanted to throw that in there since it's been a bit of a mainstay topic over the summer for a lot of people, including myself. Now, it's time for that part of Locked On Stars where we look way too in deep on training camp combinations on day one. Sam Nessler tweeted some out I want to share with you. And there were some injury updates that were given to us yesterday as well. So I'll share those with you in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments, and we don't have the full picture. You can end up leaving money on the table. That's where there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Those can be so confusing. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It makes it easy to use. It makes it easy to see your financials, and you can save up for that trip you've always wanted to take. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com. Use the code LOCKEDONNHL. So Sam Nessler tweeted out some line combinations from practice today that I figured I'd share with you, and we can talk about this too much just a couple hours into training camp. But he says here, for all that it matters, the NHL lines in Group A are like this. So Wyatt Johnston, centers, Jamie Benn on the left, Mikko Rantanen on the right. Matt Duchene is the second line. Matt Duchene, centers, Sam Steele on the left, Tyler Seguin on the right. So really, really intriguing. Didn't talk about Johnston with Rantanen and Ben very much, but I see it. I see the appeal of it. Of course, Johnston, playmaker, quick, gives that line some speed. Rantanen, powerful forward. He's sort of the sniper, the scorer. We know what he can do with the puck on his stick. And Ben, just that heavy, rugged, plays a physical game. Will stick up for Johnston, who they played together a ton before. I like that. Sort of Johnston almost has on his flanks like two powerful forwards. I wouldn't say Mikko is – no, I think it's fair. Mikko's a powerful forward. I think he's in that conversation after what we saw. Just because of the amount of points he puts up, we think maybe – he's not like a powerful, but he is. The physicality he plays with and how strong he is along the walls. So I like that. It gives Johnston maybe some cover up for that physicality, if you will. And look, these are going to be changed tomorrow. So I don't even know why I'm spending as much time on it, but it is intriguing. Duchene, Seguin, Steele. Look, I love Steele. I think he deserves a shot. I really do, to get some top 6 minutes this year because I think he is that good. And for what he's done for Dallas over the past couple of years. He probably deserves maybe a shot to play elevated in the lineup. And he's also a center, right? You get two centers on both of these lines, whether that's Seguin, but Steele, Duchesne, really fascinating stuff. So that's really, really cool and fascinating. I guess I should say. Combinations here to kind of kick off training camp. It said on the bottom lines, Sam puts here. So you had Earn between Ritzkovian and Blackwell, and then you had Schlein centering Ertl and Hemming. So those are the bottom six trios for the Stars here in day one. But Robert Tiffin also put out Steele with Seguin and Duchesne. You had the Ranton line, Haskin with Lindell. That was a pair that we really liked last year, but because of injuries, it just never really got to fully materialize. I think that's just your prototypical like shutdown D pair. Miro and Lindell. Like good luck opposing offenses. Good luck. Hintz and Robo are going to skate in the second group today, in case you're interested in that, and we'll see what kind of lines they throw out there as well. So follow us on Locked On Stars. I'm going to retweet a lot of this information from Sam and Robert, all the wonderful, wonderful beat writers that are at practice each and every day. Of course, I'm in Corpus Christi. We have our first series this weekend, which is a lot of fun. Lone Star Brahma's coming to town, so I'll be a busy boy over the weekend with games on Friday and Saturday. So it's just great that hockey's back. I'm really looking forward to another fun season. Okay, some of the injuries that were brought up, these are not Dallas Stars injuries specifically. It's actually it's going to hurt the Texas Stars a bit. So these were provided to us by Jim Nill. So Luke Chris, he's out until January or February with Achilles injury. Shout out to Owen Newkirk, by the way, for this from DLS. Kyle McDonald, out until November. He had ACL surgery. Cameron Hughes, who had a phenomenal postseason run with the Texas Stars, really came on towards the end of the year. He's going to be out until mid-October with core injury surgery. Chase Wheatcroft, another guy that was an important piece of Texas. He's out until mid-October with a wrist. So that's unfortunate for Toby Peterson and the Texas Stars. They're going to have some guys that put up some decent numbers and played quite a few minutes for them last year out of the lineup for a bit here to begin the year. So I wanted to share those updates with you as well. The good news is, as of now, Stars are healthy. They're healthy and good to go. If you are curious, Nils Lundqvist finished first in fitness testing for the third straight year. So he's got good conditioning. He's obviously staying fit over the summer. Made big strides last year, and now it's time for him to break out and have a big season under Gulutzan in the Stars. So in case you were curious on fitness testing, Nils Lundqvist, the reigning champ, once again for Dallas. But that's all I got for you today on this Thursday edition of Locked On Stars. One more episode tomorrow to kind of kick you off into the weekend. And don't forget, we have St. Louis Blues Stars preseason action Saturday. Those games, I believe, are going to be on Victory Plus. I'll have to confirm that tomorrow. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And here we go. It's time to rock and roll. I want to thank you, as always, for love and support. We did such good numbers over the summer because of y'all. I appreciate all of your commitment to wanting and engaging in Stars conversations. And that goes not just for me. I know just everybody that is doing a Dallas Stars podcast for the most part, whether that's Gavin Spittle, DLS, like the numbers are awesome. And it's just great to see the support because it allows us to do what we do. I'm very grateful for all of you that listen every single day and hear what I have to say, because if it's one thing we know here on Locked On Stars, I have the answers. We all have the answers. You get a mic, get some headphones on, you have the answers. I'll be delivering the answers every day for the Dallas Stars right here on Locked On Stars. So enjoy the rest of your day, Stars fans. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on tomorrow's episode. So long, Stars fans.